Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex. Again, here to talk NFL and my picks and predictions for week 17 of the NFL season. Um, Only got 3 games on tap. Things looked a little tight for me this week, so wasn't really seeing anything outside of these 3 games that really, um, you know, caught my attention. If you're new to the channel, if you look in the top right, that's my ATS record since week 12. That's when I started streaming my picks, right? So we've had ourselves a pretty good past month or so of the season. So anyways, getting into it, I only got 1 high stake play this week, 2 low stake plays. Let's kind of take a look at this 49ers Washington game. So the Niners' strength, right? They got the best offensive skill position talent in the league, right? As far as when you're looking at Brock Purdy, I know what happened last week with the interceptions, but you're looking at Brock Purdy, who was an MVP candidate. You got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. You got George Kittle, Debo, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons there. So to me, this is the best offensive skill position group in the league when you consider all of those different factors. Maybe you could look at Miami, might be able to compete with them, but play for play, I'd put the Niners #1. This is a top 5 defense in the league. It's a no-fly zone. Their secondary, I think their secondary is helped out by their pass rush, right, with Bosa and the group getting after the quarterback. That really helps out their secondary, but their secondary is good. Um, you you're looking at Washington going against this secondary, and these guys are starting. So Sam Howell got benched. They're starting Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett, it was reported, had some tightness in his hamstring, so now he was listed as questionable. I think it was on Thursday, and maybe they go back to Sam Howell. Um, I don't know if Jacoby Brissett is gonna miss a game when he finally gets a chance to start. I think he wants to start, right? He probably wants to be a starter in this league, as he's had his opportunities in this league before. Here's the thing about Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett is the kind of guy who will protect the football, right? He'll protect the football. He won't take chances. He's a very boring quarterback to watch. And because he won't take chances, he's also not going to throw up a bunch of yards against this 49ers defense either. This is a game that if the Niners can get out in front early, if they can get out in front early, Washington is gonna have to pass their way into this game to get back to the game, and I just don't think they got the talent to do it. Now with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and also what do they have to play for? You know, their season's over. You guys know Ron Rivera's getting terminated probably the day after the season ends. This is like the worst kept secret in football. So I don't know if there's any real motivation there. I mean, some guys might be playing for incentives or be playing for a contract, but I don't think there's a lot of motivation from Washington in this game. This is also the worst defense in the league. When you got the worst defense in the league going against, in my opinion, the best offense in the league, it's not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup. You know, what a weakness the Niners have is their run defense. Well, it's ranked high. It's actually not really as good as you might think. And particularly with Eric Armstead missing yet another week. But you got to be in the game to run the ball against them to take advantage of that weakness. And I don't think Washington's going to be in the game. And for that reason, I know this is a really big number. I don't think I don't realize it. This was at 13.5 is what it opened at. It dropped to 13. I should have did it then, but I didn't. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the Niners, and I'm going to lay the 14 in this game. I just don't see the only risk I see is if the Niners are kind of sleepwalking, going across the country, and not taking them serious because they're the better team. There's basically no way Washington can win this. If you wanted, you could probably money line this game with 49ers, but I mean you have to put down a lot of money for that to be worth your time. So for me, 49ers laying the 14. I don't think they should give up a lot of points to Jacoby Brissett, and I think the offense should pretty much cruise. Hopefully they don't sit starters in this game. if they do get out in front and we get, backdoored. But I like the 49ers laying the 14. Next up is the Rams Giants. The Rams open at 5.5. They're now a 6-point favorite against the Giants. So, money coming in on the Rams. I can understand why the Rams got a well balanced offense. This running game with Kyron Williams has been just you know taking off lately. I mean, it's every year, when you look at it, every year there's a team that or running back I should say, that has a running back that just starts to really go off towards the end of the year, right? If you do fantasy football, you know what I'm talking about. It's a running back that you don't typically think about early in the season, but then late in the season, they uh they kind of run you into a fantasy football championship if you got them, and the like, right? Kyron Williams and that is that back this year, and overall that Rams running game. I mean, they've been, what's it, 5 weeks in a row now ever since he's come back, has just been on fire. And they're going against a Giants run defense that's awful. So this sets up perfectly. You would think it sets up perfectly for Kyron Williams to have yet another big game, and for the Rams to kind of take over this game with their balance with Puka. Puka is questionable for this game, but this thinking that he's going to play. Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford, obviously. I mean, he's seen it all in this league. He should be able to air it out against this defense. Against yet another team that probably doesn't have much to play for. I mean, they've already been eliminated. Um, I don't think they're the same situation as Washington, as I think Brian Daboll will come back. So there's probably going to be some continuity there. Maybe they could play hard, but they just don't really have much in the tank for this game. The Rams have a bad secondary, but now, I mean, against the Giants probably got arguably the worst passing attack in the league. There's finally no more Tommy DeVito. I know he was a good story. People were like talking about him, and he had a little moxie to him, but the reality is he was a very, very weak passer. Just he finally got benched. He just wasn't good. I mean, I know there's some. I guess he was good enough to sell some tickets, for the hype that they were doing. But that hype train, I guess, is done because he can't really play quarterback in this league. They're going to Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor is similar to Jacoby Brissett in that he's a kind of QB who won't take a lot of risks. Is a very boring quarterback, could put you to sleep. And he's the kind of quarterback that if the Rams get out in front with this passing attack, there's nothing here to get back into this game. Yeah, the Rams secondary does stink, so you might hit a couple passes at Darren Waller, okay. But the Rams running game is going to really take over and kind of own this game from start to finish. So we just need to win by a touchdown. I like that. This is going to be a low stakes play for me though, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and take the Rams, and I'm going to lay that 6. And our final game. Now this game right here is well, let's just get into it. Bengals, Chiefs. It's open at 7.5. It's gone down to 6.5. A lot of people think it's Cincinnati in this game. So when you're looking at Cincinnati, they have a running game that's improved over the past month. They got a dangerous group of receivers, obviously led by Jamar Chase, who is still listed as questionable, but a lot of people are expecting him to play. That's what's being reported, especially with all the trash talking he's been doing. So you got a dangerous group of receivers, and then it all like fell apart. And you got Jake Browning, who started off cold against Pittsburgh, then game managing his way, finding his weapons, everything was looking good, and then fell apart last week against Pittsburgh yet again. So who is the real Jake Browning? Is the one that was looking pretty sharp, keeping this train rolling for Cincinnati, or is he the guy that we've seen against the Steelers twice now, who turns the ball over and is kind of inaccurate with the football? Um, Going against Kansas City, I mean, this is a team in disarray. The Chiefs, they've lost what, 3 games in a row. This isn't the Chiefs to me look like a team, the defending Super Bowl champs, sure, and they look like a team that if they make the playoffs, they're gonna go one and done. That's what that's what the Chiefs look like. They're gonna go one and done. And I'm sorry, they didn't lose 3 straight. They lost 3 of the last 4. They beat the Patriots. Um, but even that was a dogfight against a bad Patriots team, right? You got Patrick Mahomes, but who's he throwing to? Every week it's who's he throwing to because they don't really have some top receivers to get the ball to. I've talked about this before with I've talked about this before with Kansas City, right? They don't have the biggest issue they have is they don't have any top receivers to get the ball to. And by the way, Cam Taylor-Britt for the Bengals is supposed to be back in this game. He's been on IR for several weeks. He's been full practicing this week. He should be back. So that's their top corner coming back. So now you don't got those same guys that were getting cooked by George Pickens. Everybody's going to go down a notch, right? You're going to have Cam Taylor-Britt back in the game, and whoever he's matched up against is an advantage for him because he's not going to go against a top receiver in this game. So I don't know if Kansas City's passing attack is, you still got Patrick Mahomes, so they're going to do something, but I don't know if they're going to really get off like that. And on the other side, Jake Browning going against his secondary. Chiefs been one of the best secondaries in the league, but now LJ Snead, their top corner, he's got a calf injury. He hasn't practiced all week. He's right now listed as questionable. He's a game time decision. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but if he plays, I don't think he's going to be healthy. I'm in a corner with a bad calf. That doesn't sound like somebody you would want out there. So especially he'll probably be covering Jamar Chase. So that's not a good matchup. I don't know if he's going to play, but you probably want to sit him. But this is essentially a playoff game for them, right? For both teams, Chiefs and Bengals, because to lose this game to make the playoffs, it's going to be kind of dicey. So this is an interesting matchup. You got a Bengals team with good receivers but a bad defense, and you question mark at quarterback and Jake Browning, and a Chiefs team with Patrick Mahomes bringing the only consistency on the offense because they don't have consistent receivers. Running backs are banged up. Pacheco's supposed to be back, but I know he's not going to be 100% coming out concussion protocol and still has a banged up shoulder. And then a secondary that's really good, but now their best corner might not play in this game. So it's a lot of disarray or a lot of question marks around both teams. And for that reason, I wanted to do this at 7, but it's gone down to 6.5. I'm taking the Bengals. I'm not taking them straight up to win this game. I think the Chiefs will win this game. Or could win this game. It's not something I feel confident enough to money line. But I'm taking the Bengals. I'm taking the 6.5. I wanted to take the 7. I wish I got it there. But I'm going to take the Bengals with the 6.5. I'm going to take another shot on Jake Browning to at least keep this game competitive. I think this is a really good bounce back spot, after getting waxed last week. So that's and understand this. This is Jake Browning. So when I say in low stakes play, this is a 1%. All right, I'm not taking that big of a risk on Jake Browning after what he did to me last week against the Steelers. All right, okay. So anyways, to wrap up, so it's the Niners laying to 14, Rams laying to 6, and Bengals plus 6.5 are my 3 ATS calls of the week. If you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that. And you're going to see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.